Hello, Angie Gerber here, and welcome to my podcast, Awareness. Once you know, you can't unknow. A place you can come to start thinking and shifting your thoughts to finally create the results you truly, truly desire. It'll shift your mindset and give you strategies to get out there and get it done. Let's get started. Hello. Want to start off today with, first of all, just saying thank you and extending my gratitude. I had so many people reach out after last week's episode where I shared a little bit of my story. As you can imagine, I could do years of one podcast on my journey and story. And yet just the little bit I was able to share, it just touched me so much, and I want you to know I was open. I received the love and the gratitude from you all and the support, and I just so appreciate it. And, some people say how brave I was and that they could never do that and share their story like I did. And I was there. I was once there where I never thought I would ever share this. I had so much shame and guilt and, just pain around it. And it was in the little wins. As I said, vulnerability is something that's earned. You don't have to give it away, nor should you. And it was really over my years of taking little steps and little chances on people that I felt had the right energy, and we connected and were vulnerable with me, and having those little wins after win after win that gave me the courage and strength to just say, screw it. It's my story. I own it. I'm no longer going to live in the guilt, in the shame, in the past. Because if we wake up every day and you relive yesterday, or you relive something that you're not so proud of, the subconscious doesn't know the difference. So really, when you're putting yourself in that vibration and in that frequency, it's like you're reliving it over and over, and you don't give yourself a chance to level up and to get onto a different vibration. So I know one of, when Jack Canfield, one of his studies, and one of the things that he said is he's like, I grew up in an alcoholic family. I grew up with an abusive father. I grew up at horrible childhood pretty much. And he's like, and you know what? So what? So what? Cut it and let it go. And he was so matter of fact about it. And I had a friend do that to me as well at one point, where she was just like, what are you going to do? Like, you sit here and complain over and over again. What is it getting you? And it pissed me off big time at first. But in retrospect and looking back, it's like, yeah. So who are you going to choose to wake up and be today? How are you going to go throughout the day? Are you going to look at the opportunities, or are you going to live in the past and in this place where you can't change it? What's done is done. And just like me, it may be something where you have to live with it and you have to learn how to move forward with it. And you have choices every day to do that with grace, and to do that from a place where you can use it for the better, or you can sit and you can just spin and stir in the mess and let the mess overcome you, which I did for years. So I just really want to, highlight that we're all fighting our own battle. If I didn't learn anything over this last week with stories, and I was with a few people as well, marriages, the struggles with kids, alcohol abuse, drug abuse, infidelity, work problems. Everyone has their own family drama for the most part. At least I haven't met someone in my coaching one-on-one that hasn't brought up some family stuff. So know that everyone we come in contact with is fighting their own battle today. And when you walk into my house, the first sign you see is a sign that says, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. And I truly mean that. Be kind. because everyone needs a little bit of kindness, whether it's a smile or holding a door open for someone or giving a compliment, something that you see that you appreciate about someone. Leave everyone better than you found them. Make them smile. Make it your mission to make them smile, to make them feel heard, to make them feel seen, to make them feel important, if only for a moment. It's just so powerful. I just wanted to put that out there as just a reminder. It's just become so apparent to me, especially over this last week, that there's so much going on out there. And at the same time, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was like, you got to protect your energy. You also have to protect yourself. At what point do we become the martyr and we take on everyone else's stuff and forget about our own self, our own, what we have to take care of, who we have to show up to be for our family, for our significant others, our spouses, our partners, our kids, our job. Just know that we're all 100% energy, and what you put out, you get back. And so what you're focusing on is what you're going to expand and get more of back. So just be conscious of it, be aware, and, play around with it a little bit. Maybe make some different decisions, or maybe say no to some things, because when you say yes to something, you're usually saying no to something else. And think about what it is you're saying no to. Are you taking care of yourself? Do you have self-care in place? There's so many people that are have the golden handcuffs. They're handcuffed to their job because they don't feel like they can leave. They've got it so good, and they let their dreams and their I don't have to just go away, just to make it another day, to get that check, and at what cost? As Bob said, don't be irresponsible. And yet, if there's something that you want, put a plan together. Start future self journaling. Write down what your goal is, and don't worry about the how it's going to happen. Just write down what you want. What would it look like a year from now if you had exactly what you wanted? And write that out, and then record it and listen to it. Listen to it 2 to 3 times a day, in the morning, at night, if you can squeeze another time in, and just start feeling it as if it's here and done. And you'll be so surprised of what will start happening around you, the ideas you'll get, the people that will be put in your path. What once seemed like it would never, ever, ever be able to happen, who were you to ever think that you could have that? You'll get it. I'm a perfect example of that. I am a perfect example of that. I am a product of the product, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to get this information to as many people's hands as I can. This last week, not only was my 6-year sobriety, it was the year of Bob Proctor's passing, the 1st year anniversary. So there was just so many beautiful tributes to him, to his life, to his work. All he wanted to do is show up and serve people and show them that if he could do it, if he could come from where he came from, when he found this information in the 60s, and create what he created, anyone could do it. And when I was broke and I was raw and wounded and I was at my rock bottom and I found him and his information, I didn't believe it. I didn't understand it. All I just knew is my intuition was telling me, you should believe him. And he said, borrow my belief in you, and know that this will work if you'll just do what I say, until you find out one of two things. Either I don't know what I'm talking about, or I'm lying. Well, years and years later, he does know what he's talking about, and he wasn't lying. So it's amazing, amazing man and amazing work. Absolutely. So many people came out and said that it was Bob Proctor and his information that changed their lives, and in some cases saved their lives. I know for me, it did both, I believe. And it brought me to another thing that I keep hearing. And I have to say it because it sparked something in me when I heard this recently. You know, in the world, you may be one person, and to one person, you may be the world. And that just got me to stop and think like, okay, so yeah, in a huge world of millions, billions of people, I'm just one person. And yet to one person, I'm their world. And for me, that's my kids, my daughter for sure. It's so funny when we sat down for teacher conferences, the teacher, my husband and I were sitting there. She's like, yes. And we did, this little project where it's like, okay, so who's your hero? And I'm thinking, okay, who did she think of? All the people that it could have been. Never dawned on me to be me. And she's like, and it was you, her mom. And I was like, what? And my husband Bill goes, well, of course it was you. And I was like, I did not even understand that. It was so cute and unexpected. And yet it just shed some light on that. To the world, you may be one person, but to one person, you may be the world. So who's your one person that you're their world? You're their everything. And on the flip side of that, who's yours? Who's your person that you're just like, oh man, without them, or maybe a couple, it doesn't have to just be one. Think about that. And that's where you can even come from gratitude and come from this place of, just feeling so fulfilled. And what can you do and what can you give back, if not to them, to someone else? And really pay it forward and really look at how you can do one thing in the moment and through the ripple effect of doing that act of kindness, where that can go in the world. It's truly remarkable. And a lot of people don't believe it. And a lot of people think it could never happen that way. And it does happen, and it can happen. And what's the hurt in trying? So what if you never know the many, many hundreds of thousands of miles an act of kindness can travel? Just know that it can and it will. And even if you don't believe it, then just do the act of kindness that's in front of you and let that be enough. And whatever happens from there for sure. Again, gratitude, start with writing 10 things down every day that you're grateful for. And after each one, ask why and connect to why you're grateful and feel it and really make it matter and make the gratitude felt within your core. And after that, take 3 things, 3 relationships, 3 people that are bothering you and send them love. Because in every situation, I don't care what it is, in every situation, you can find the good in it if you choose to look for it. That's another lesson Bob Proctor taught me. There's good in everything because there's the polar opposite. So if you have good, you have bad. It's powerful and it can change everything for you. And the third thing is just sit and ask for guidance from God, from your universe, source, spirit, whatever that is to you. Ask for guidance. And as I've said before, you might not hear anything back in the first couple of days or a couple of weeks. And if you stay with it, even if it's a minute, if you don't have 5, take a minute and just ask for guidance. Ask what you can do today, or think about and be intentional about what you can do today. Write down 3 people that you're going to send a note of gratitude, whether it's a text, a messenger, a phone call. My goodness, a phone call would be fantastic, a voicemail, whatever it is. You can really change someone's day by just showing up with intentionality to be a better person and to make them know that they matter. It matters. I want to wrap up as well and say if you're struggling with your battle or someone close to you is struggling with their battle and it's really difficult time, Just know that I hear you, I see you, and I feel you. And it will get better. Just reach out to me, reach out to someone. Know that this is a moment and the moment will pass and it will get better. And it will start with your thoughts. Start thinking differently. And just know that it can be different. And you have the power to start today with the shift. We can do hard things. You can do hard things. I can do hard things. We can do hard things. Thanks for spending some time with me today. And if you like what you heard, feel free to share, like, subscribe, follow, do whatever it is you do. I'd love to get this out to as many people as possible because it truly all does start with awareness. Once you know, you cannot unknow, and it changes everything. And of course, if I can help in any way, I'm here and happy to do so. Until next time, make it a good one.